Hey, boys and girls, we are definitely continuing with multiplication today. You guys are doing great at it. I'm very impressed, um, especially with Gracie. Excellent job, Gracie. Now, today we're actually going to learn our distributive property of multiplication. So, we use distributive property to break apart large arrays into smaller arrays for easier computation. And we are actually going to start practicing algebra, boys and girls. So this is our big array, right? We're going to turn it into two little arrays to make it simpler for us to multiply when we have big numbers. Now, let's go ahead and start with 7.4. So 7.4. Ooh, and look at here, it has algebra. All the big kids are doing it. So 7.4, distributive property, algebra. Our essential question, which is our objective, is mirror on. I can use the distributive property to find products. Mirror off. All right, boys and girls, now I'm going to go ahead and look for, I'm going to use my read draw right here. So Mark bought 6 new fish for his aquarium. He paid $7 for each fish. How much did he spend in all? Now, I know that I just read this problem. Okay. Let me look at what my little helping box is telling me. So it says describe the groups in this problem. So I know that Mark bought 6 new fish. Okay. And he bought it for his aquarium, right? He paid $7 for each fish. I'm looking for how much did he spend in all. So I know I have 6 groups of 7. Well, $7, remember, because each fish is $7. So we need to find 6 times $7. And we can use distributive property to solve the problem. Remember, distributive property, boys and girls, is we break apart 2 large arrays and make them into smaller arrays for easier computation. That's distributive property. Remember, we're going to look over here. I know this one's kind of confusing, so we're looking at this anchor chart over here to help us remember. So, our activity, we know this is an array of 6 rows of 7. So I know I have 6 rows here and 7 columns there. Now I'm going to use the break apart method. Remember, right here they break up 6 times 4. They break it up into 6 times 6 plus 6 times 2. How can we break this up? So I know one of the ways that I could break it up, 6 times 7, I know that 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. So I can multiply each number. I can multiply the 5 times 6 and then the 2 times 6 to find my answer. So that's what we wrote here. 6 times 5 plus 6 times 2. So I know that 6 times 5, let me use my 5s. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 6 times 5 is 30. And I know 6 times 2 is 12. Now I need to add 30 plus 12. That is 42. So 6 times 7 is 42. Mark spent $42 for his new fish. And if you look over here on this side, boys and girls, it shows us the break apart, how it's broken apart into 2 smaller arrays. We have 6 times 5 here on this side, so we have 6 rows and 5 columns. And over here we have 6 rows and 2 columns. So 6 times 5 we said was 30, and 6 times 2 was 12. And we add those to get our answer, which was 42. Let's continue practicing with the next page. So, share and show. Remember, we read, draw, and write. So it says, draw a line to show how you can break apart this 6 times 8 array to work into 2 smaller arrays for facts you know. So what numbers do you multiply? So we know that we are going to multiply 6 times 8. That's our number. And this is our array right here. So we have 6 and 8 columns. 6 rows and 8 columns. Now how can we separate? What 2 numbers add up to 8? So I know if I add 4 and 4, that equals to 8. So maybe I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe I could do 6 and 4 and 6 and 4. So we know that we're adding. So we know 6 times 4 equals 24. 6 times 4 again equals 24. So we're adding 24 plus 24. So 6 times 8 is also equal to 6 times, we have 4 plus 4, because those are the numbers that we broke the 8 up into. So 6 times 8 is also equal to, remember, we're multiplying 6 by each of these numbers. So 6 times 4 and 6 times 4. We know 6 times 4 equals 24 plus 6 times 4 equals 24. So 24 plus 24, boys and girls, equals 48. 6 times 8 equals 48. Now let's go ahead and go over the next one. So the next one we know is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 5 columns, 5 rows and 8 columns. So we're looking for 5 times 8. Well, we have 5 times 8. But we're going to use our break apart method, which is our distributive property. I know I'm going to look at the 8 and see what numbers I can add that equal to 8. So I know other numbers that equal to 8 are 5 plus 3. I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Break it apart here. And then 1, 2, 3. So I know here I'm going to do 5. I can break it up by 5 times, don't forget your parenthesis. Then I know on this side I'm going to have 5 plus 3. Another way that I could write that is 5 times 5 plus 5 times 3. And that gives me 45. Now your turn to do number 3 by yourselves. I'm going to do a couple of these with you guys. Okay, so let's start with number 5. Hot one. So sense or nonsense? Robin says, I can find 8 times 7 by multiplying 3 times 7 and doubling it. Does your statement make sense? Justify your answer. So I know, boys and girls, that if I do 8 times 7, so I know So 8 times 7, I'm going to have to break 1 apart. So I'm going to use my anchor chart to help me. I'm going to break apart the 7. So what numbers can I add up that equal to 7? So I know that 4 plus 3 equal to 7. Now when I do that, look down here. I'm going to bring the 6 down, and I'm going to multiply each number by that one. In this case, I'm going to use 8. So 8 times 4 plus 8 times 3. So I know 8 times 4 is equal to 32. And then 8 times 3 is equal to 24. Now I need to add 32 plus 24. So I have 32 plus 24. 2 plus 4 equals 6. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So that one equals to 56. Now the next number I'm going to do, remember, they said multiply 3 times 7 and doubling it. I know doubling it means doing it 2 times. So 3 times 7 is equal to 21. So I'm going to add 21 plus 21. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So this is nonsense because 8 times 7 is equal to 56, and 3 times 7 plus 3 times 7 is equal to 21. I'm sorry, not 21, silly me. 42. Whew, thank goodness I went back and checked it. Our next one is kind of long. It's a multi-step problem. So let's go ahead and use our read, draw, write. So Brandon needs 8 boxes of spinners for his fishing club. The cost of each box is $9. How much will Brandon pay? So I know, let's go ahead. He needs 8 boxes of spinners for his fish club. The cost of each box is $9. How much will Brandon pay? Let's go ahead and see if we can figure out Brandon's mistake. So I know that we have 8 times 9. Okay, he has that part correct. So in this case, I see that he is using the distributive property of multiplication, but I'm not sure if he did the 8 or the 9. Because the 9's right here, so he must have done the 8. So let's see if these two numbers can be added up to 8. So I know 4 plus 5 is 9. So I think that's what his mistake was. He should have done 4 and 4 over here, not 9. I'm sorry, not 5. That was definitely his error. So I'm going to go ahead and write that there. So Brandon broke apart So he broke apart the 9. We know that because 4 plus 5 equals 9 instead of doing 4 plus 4, which is 8. Broke apart the 9 and multiplied by 9. when he should have multiplied, I'm sorry, he should have broken up the 8 right here and multiplied by 9. Now our next one. It says use the array to help solve the problem and correct Brandon's error. Ooh, so they already used distributive property here for us. They went ahead. We have 8 times 9 here. Which one did they break apart? The 8 or the 9? Oh, 4 plus 4 equals 8, so they broke apart the 8. Now I know that 4 times 9 goes here, and 4 times 9 goes here. 4 times 9 is equal to 36. And I'm going to plus it by 4 times 9. That's another 36. I'm going to go ahead and do 36 plus 36 so I can line them up correctly. 6 plus 6 is 12. I'm going to carry the 1 to regroup. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So our answer is 72. So Brandon will pay $72 for the spinners. If we look over here, we have 9 times 4 and 9 times 4. Go ahead and do 7, 8, 9, and 10 by yourself, boys and girls.